Aeschylus.
My lord.
Of government, the properties to unfold would seem to affect in me speech and discourse. Since I am put to know that your own science exceeds in that the lists of all advice my strength can give you, then no more remains, but that to your sufficiency as your worth is able. Our city's institutions and the terms for common justice ye are as pregnant in as art and practice hath enriched any that we remember. There is our commission, from which we would not have you warp. Call hither, I say, bid come before us, Angelo. What figure of us think you he will bear? For you must know we have with special soul elected him our absence to supply, lent him our terror, dressed him with our love, given his deputation all the organs of our own power. What think you of it?
And if any in Vienna be of worth to undergo such ample grace and honor, he is the Lord Angelo. Look you where he comes.
Always obedient to your grace's will, I come to know your pleasure.
Angelo, there is a kind of character in thy life that to the observer doth thy history fully unfold. Thyself and thy belongings are not thine own, so proper as to waste thyself upon thy virtues, they on thee. Heaven doth with us as we with torches do, not light them for themselves. For if our virtues did not go forth of us, 'twere all alike as if we had them not. Spirits are not finely touched, but to fine issues. Nor nature never lends the smallest scruple of her excellence, but like a thrifty goddess, she determines herself the glory of a creditor, both thanks and use. But I do bend my speech to one that can my part in him advertise. Hold, therefore, Angelo, in our remove, be thou at full ourself. Mortality and mercy in Vienna live in thy tongue and heart. Old Aeschylus, though first in question, is thy secondary. Take thy commission.
Now, good my lord, let there be some more test made of my mettle, before so noble and so great a figure be stamped upon it.
No more evasion. We have with 11th and prepared choice proceed to you, and forsake your honors. Our haste from hence is of so quick condition that it prefers itself and leaves unquestioned matters of needful value. We shall write to you, as time and our concerning shall importune, how it goes with us, and do look to know what doth befall you here. So, fare you well. To the hopeful execution do I leave you of your commissions.
Yet give leave, my lord, that we may bring you something on the way.
My haste may not admit it, nor need you, on mine honor, have to do with any scruple. Your scope is as mine own, so to enforce or qualify the laws as to your soul seems good. Give me your hand. I'll privily away. I love the people, but do not like to stage me to their eyes. Though it do well, I do not relish well their loud applause and aves vehement. Nor do I think the man of safe discretion that does affect it. Once again, fare you well.
May the heavens give safety to your purposes.
Lead forth and bring you back in happiness.
Thank you, fare you well.
I shall desire you, sir, to give me leave to have free speech with you, and it concerns me to look into the bottom of my place. Of power I have, but of what strength and nature I am not yet instructed.
'Tis so with me. Let us withdraw together, and we may soon our satisfaction have, touching that point.
I'll wait upon your honor.
No! Holy Father, throw away that thought. Believe not that the dribbling dart of love can pierce a complete bosom. Why, I desire thee to give me secret harbor hath a purpose more grave and wrinkled than the aims and ends of burning youth.
May your grace speak of it.
My holy sir, none better knows than you how I have ever loved the life removed, and held in idle price to haunt assemblies where youth and cost a witless bravery keeps. I have delivered to Lord Angelo, a man of stricture and firm abstinence, my absolute power and place here in Vienna. And he supposes me traveled to Poland, for so I have strewed it in the common ear, and so it is received. Now, pious sir, you will demand of me why I do this.
Gladly, my lord.
We have strict statutes and most biting laws, the need for bits and curbs to headstrong weeds, which for this 14 years we have let slip. Even like an overgrown lion in a cave that goes not out to prey. Now, as fond fathers, having bound up the threatening twigs of birch, only to stick it in their children's sight for terror, not in use. In time the rod becomes more mocked than feared. So our decrees, dead to infliction, to themselves are dead. And liberty plucks justice by the nose, the baby beats the nurse, and quite athwart goes all decorum.
It rested in your grace to unloose this tied-up justice when you please. And it in you more dreadful would have seemed than in Lord Angelo.
I do fear too dreadful. Sissy, was my fault to give the people scope? 'Twould be my tyranny to strike and gall them for what I bid them do. Therefore, indeed, my father, I have imposed the office on Angelo, who may in the ambush of my name strike home, and yet my nature never in the sight to do it harm. And to behold his sway, I will as 'twere a brother of your holy order visit both prince and people. Therefore I prithee, supply me with the habit, and instruct me how I may formally in person bear like a true friar. More reasons for this action at our more leisure shall I render you. Only this one. Lord Angelo is precise. Stands at a guard with envy, scarce confesses that his blood flows, or that his appetite is more to bread than stone. Hence shall we see, if power change purpose, what our seamers be.
If the Duke with the other dukes comes not to opposition with the King of Hungary, why did all the dukes fall upon the King?
Heaven grant us its peace, but not the King of Hungary.
Behold, behold, when mass mitigation comes. I have purchased as many diseases under her roof as come to
do what, I pray thee?
to judge.
To $3,000 a year. Aye, and more.
Oh, a French crown more.
Thou art always figuring diseases in me, but thou art full of error. I am sound.
Not as one would say, healthy, but so sound as things that are hollow. Thy bones are hollow, man, and piety has made a beast of thee.
How now? Which of your hips has the most profound sciatica?
Well. There's one yonder arrested and carried to prison. Was worth 5,000 of you all.
Who's that, I pray thee?
Marry, sir, that's Claudio. Signor Claudio.
Claudio to prison, 'tis not so.
Nay, I know 'tis so. I saw him arrested, saw him carried away, and which is more, within these 3 days, his head to be chopped off.
But after all this fooling, I would not have it so. Are thou sure of this?
I am too sure of it. And it is forgetting Madame Giulietta with child.
Believe me, this may be. He promised to meet me 2 hours since, and he is ever precise in promise-keeping.
Besides, you know, it draws something near to the speech we had to such a purpose.
But most of all, agreeing with the proclamation.
Oh, wait, let's go learn the truth of it.
But what with the war, what with the sweat, what with the gallows, and what with the poverty, I am custom shrunk.
Mistress! Mistress!
How now? What's the news with you?
Yonder man is carried to prison.
Well, what has he done?
A woman.
But what's the fence?
Groping for trout from the peculiar river.
What? Is there a maid with child by him?
No, but there's woman with maid by him. You have not heard of the proclamation, have you?
What proclamation, man?
All the houses in the suburbs of Vienna are to be plucked down.
And what's to become of those in the city?
They shall stand for siege. They would have gone down too, but a wise burgher put in for them.
But shall all of our houses of resort in the suburbs be pulled
To
down?
the ground, mistress.
Well, this is a change indeed in the Commonwealth. What's to become of me?
Oh, fear not, you. Though you change your place, you need not change your trade. Albeit Tapster still.
Oh, what's to do here, Thomas Tapster? Let's withdraw.
Oh, here comes Signor Claudio, led by Provost to prison. There's Madame Juliet.
Halt! Why dost thou show me thus to the world? Bear me to prison where I am committed.
I do it not in evil disposition. From special charge from Lord Angelo.
Thus can the demigod authority make us pay down for our offense by weight, the words of heaven. On whom it will, it will. On whom it will not, so. Yet still 'tis just.
How now, Claudio? Whence comes this restraint?
From too much liberty, my Lucio, liberty. As surfeit is the father of much fast, so every scope by the immoderate use turns to restraint. Our natures do pursue like rats that raven down their proper bane a thirsty evil, and when we drink, we die.
If I could speak so wisely under an arrest, I would sit for certain of my creditors. And yet I have the foppery of freedom as the morality of imprisonment. What's thy offense, Claudia?
What but to speak of would offend again?
What is murder?
No.
Lechery?
Call it so.
Away, sir, you must go.
One word, good friend. Lucio, a word.
Oh, 100 will do you any good. Is lechery so looked after?
Thus stands it with me. Upon a true contract, I got possession of Julieta's bed. You know the lady. She is fast my wife, save that we do the denunciation of outward order lack. This we came not to only for propagation of a dower remaining in the coffer of her friends, from whom we thought it meet to hide our love till time had made them for us. But it chances the stealth of our most mutual entertainment with character too gross is writ on Juliet.
Oh, and with child, perhaps?
Unhappily, even so. And the new deputy now for the Duke awakes me all the enrolled penalties which have, like, unscoured armor hung by the wall so long that 19 zodiacs have gone round and none of them been worn, and for a name now puts the drowsy and neglected act freshly on me. 'Tis surely for a name.
Oh, I warrant it is. And thy head stands so tickle on thy shoulders that a milkmaid, if she be in love, may sigh it off. Send after the Duke and appeal to him.
I have done so, but he's not to be found. I prithee, Lucio, do me this kind service. This day my sister should the cloister enter and there receive her approbation. Acquaint her with the danger of my state. Implore her in my voice that she make friends to the strict deputy. Bid herself assay him. I have great hope in that, for in her youth there is a prone and speechless dialect such as move men. Beside, she hath prosperous art when she will play with reason and discourse, and well she can persuade.
I pray she may. Is well for the encouragement of the life. which would stand under grievous imposition is for the enjoying of thy life, which I would be sad would be thus foolishly lost at a game of tic-tac. I'll to her.
I thank you, good friend Richard.
Within 2 hours.
Come, officer, away.
And have you not no farther privileges? Are not these large enough?
Yes, truly. I speak not as desiring more, but rather wishing a more strict restraint upon the sisterhood, the votarists of St. Clair.
Oh, peace be in this place.
Who's that which calls?
It is a man's voice. Gentle Isabella, turn near the key and know his business of him. You may, I may not. You are yet unsworn. When you have vowed, you must not speak with men, but in the presence of the prioress. And then if you speak, you must not show your face.
Oh!
Show your face, you must not speak. He calls again, I pray you, answer him.
Peace and prosperity. Who is it that calls?
Hail, virgin, if you be as those cheek roses proclaim you are, no less. Could you speed me as bring me to the sight of Isabella, a novice of this place, and the fair sister to her unhappy brother Claudio?
Why, her unhappy brother. Let me ask. The rather, for I now must make you know I am that Isabella and his sister.
Gentle and fair, your brother kindly greets you. Not to be weary with you, he's in prison.
For me? For what?
For that which if I were his judge, he would receive his judgment, his punishment in thanks. He hath got his friend with child.
Sir, make me not your story.
Though it is true, your brother and his lover have embraced. As those that feed grow full as blossoming thyme, that from the seedness the bare fallow brings to teeming poison. Even so, her plenteous womb expresseth his full tilth and husbandry.
Someone with child by him. My cousin Juliet?
He is your cousin.
Adopted me. As schoolmates change their name by vain, though apt affection.
She it is.
Oh, let him marry her.
This is the point. The Duke is very strangely gone from hence, and with full line of his authority governs Lord Angelo, a man whose blood is very snow broth, one who never feels the wanton stings and motions of the sense, but doth rebate and blunt his natural edge with profits of the mind, study, and fast. He to give fear to use and liberty, as have for long run by the hideous law, as mice by lions, hath picked out an act under whose heavy imposition your brother's life falls into forfeit. He arrests him on it, and follows close the rigors of the restraint to make him an example. All hope is gone unless you have the kindness by your fair prayer to soften Lord Angelo. And that's my pith of business twixt you and your poor brother.
Doth he so seek his life?
Has arrested him on it, and as I hear, the provost has a warrant for his execution.
Alas, what horribilities in need to do him good.
As say the powers you have.
I'm power. Alas, I doubt.
Our doubts are traitors and make us lose the good we might oft win by fearing to attempt. Go to Lord Angelo and let him learn that when women sue, men give like gods. But when they kneel and weep, all their petitions are as freely theirs as they themselves would have them.
I'll see what I can do.
But speedily.
I will about it straight. No longer staying but to give the mother notice of my affair. I humbly thank you. Commend me to my brother. Soon at night I'll send him certain word of my success.
I take my leave of you.
Good sir, adieu.
We must not make a scarecrow of the law, setting it up to fear the birds of prey, and let it keep one shape, till custom make it their perch and not their terror.
Aye, but yet let us rather be keen and cut a little than fall and bruise to death. Alas, this gentleman, whom I would say had a most noble father, let but your honor know, whom I believe to be most straight in virtue, that in the working of your own affections, had time cohered with place, or place with wishing, or that the resolute acting of your blood could have attained the effect of your own purpose, whether you had not sometime in your life erred in this point which you now censure him, and pulled the law upon you.
'Tis one thing to be tempted, Aeschylus, another thing to fall. But rather tell me, when I that censure him do so offend, let mine own judgment pattern out my death, and nothing come impartial. Sir, he must die.
Be it as your wisdom will.
Where's the provost?
Here, if it like, Your Honor.
See that Claudio be executed by 9 tomorrow morning. Bring him his confessor. Let him be prepared, for that is the utmost of his pilgrimage.
Well, heaven forgive him and forgive us all. Some rise by sin and some by virtue fall. Some run from breaks of vice and answer none. And some condemn it for a fault alone.
Oh, bring them away. If these be good people in Commonweal, they do nothing but use or abuse in common houses, I know no law. Bring them away.
How now, sir? What's your name and what's the matter?
If it please, Your Honor, I am the poor Duke's constable, and my name is Elbow. I do lean upon justice, sir, and do bring in here before you, good honor, two notorious benefactors.
Benefactors? Well, what benefactors are they? Are they not malefactors?
If it please, Your Honor, I know not well what they are. But precise villains they are, that I am sure of, and void of all profanation in the world, a good Christian ought to have.
This comes off well. He's a wise officer.
Go to. What quality are they of? Elbow is your name? Why dost thou not speak, Elbow?
He cannot, sir. He's out and Elbow.
What are you, sir?
Sir, a tapster, sir. Parcel bog, one that serves a bad woman, whose house, sir, was, as they say, plucked down in the suburbs, and now she professes a hothouse, which I think is a very ill house, too.
How know you that?
By my wife, sir, whom I detest before heaven and your honor.
How? Thy wife?
Aye, sir, whom I thank heaven is an honest woman.
Dost thou detest her, therefore?
I say, sir, I will detest myself also, that this house, if it's not be a bond's house, it is pity of her life, for it is a naughty house.
How know you that, constable?
By my wife, who had she been a woman cardinally given, might have been accused of adultery, fornication, and all uncleanliness, sir.
By the woman's means.
Aye, by Mistress Overdone's means. But, as she spit in his face, so she defied him.
Sir, if it please your honor, this is not so.
Prove it before these varlets here, the honorable man. Prove it.
Do you hear how he misplaces?
Sir, she came in great with child and longing for, saving your honor's reverence, stewed purpose. Sir, we had but two in the house, which at that distant time stood in a fruit dish, a dish of some 3 pence. Your honors know such dishes. They are not China dishes, but very good dishes.
Go to, no matter for the dish.
No, indeed, sir, not of a pin. You are there and to the right. But to the point. As I said, Mistress Elbow, being, as I said, with child, and being, as I said, great-bellied and longing for, as I said, prunes, and having but 2 in the dish, as I said, Master Froth here, this very man, as I said and as I say, eating the rest and pays for them very honestly. For as you know, Master Froth, I could not give you 3 pence again.
No, indeed.
Oh, why, very well then. Now, I'm telling you then, if you be remembered cracking the stones of the foresaid prunes.
So I did indeed.
Oh, why, very well then. Now, I tell you that if you be remembered that one and such a one were past cure of the thing you wot of, unless they kept very good diet, as I told you. Why, very well then. Now,
You are a tedious fool. To the purpose.
This will last out a night in Russia, when nights are longest there. I will take my leave and leave you to the hearing of the cause, hoping you will find good cause to whip them all!
I will think no less. Good morrow to your lordship. Come now. What was done to Elbow's wife once more?
Once, sir, there was nothing done to her once.
I beseech you, sir, ask him what this man did to my wife.
Oh, I beseech your honor, ask me.
Well, sir, what did this gentleman do her?
I beseech you, sir, look upon this gentleman. Master Froth, look upon his honor. 'Tis for a good purpose. Doth your honor mark his face?
Aye, very well.
Nay, I beseech you, mark it well.
Well, I do so.
Doth your honor see any harm in his face?
Why, no.
Well, I'll be supposed upon a book, his face is the worst thing about him. Good then. Now, if his face be the worst thing about him, how can Master Frog do the good constable's wife any harm? I would know that of your honor.
He's in the right, Constable. What say you to it?
First, and it like you, this house is a respected house. Next, this is a respected fellow, and his mistress a respected woman.
Hold by this hand, sir. She is a more respected person than any of us all.
Now, like, wicked harlot, the time has yet to come that she was ever respected with man, woman, or child.
Oh, sir, she was respected with him before he married with her.
Which is the wiser here, justice or iniquity? Is this true?
Oh, thou varlet, oh, thou wicked Hannibal! I respected with her before I was married to her? Ha! If ever I was respected with her as she with me, let not your worship think me the poor duke's officer. Prove this, thou wicked Hannibal, or I'll have mine action of battery.
If he took you a box of the ears, you might have your action of slander, too.
Mary, thank your good worship for it. What is your worship's pleasure I shall do to this wicked caitiff?
Truly, officer, because he hath some offences in him that thou wouldst discover, if thou couldst, let him continue in his courses till thou knowest what they are.
Mary, I thank your worship. Thou seest now, thou varlet, what's come upon thee. Thou art to continue now, thou varlet. Thou art to continue.
Where were you born, friend?
Oh, here in Vienna, sir.
And are you a 80 pounds a year?
Yes, and to please you, sir.
Sir. What trade are you of, sir?
A tapster. A poor widow's tapster.
Your mistress's name?
Mistress Overdone.
Hath she had any more than one husband?
9, sir. Overdone by the last.
9! Come hither to me, Master Froth. Master Froth, I would not have you acquainted with tapsters. They will draw you, Master Froth, and you will hang them. Now get you gone, let me hear no more of you.
Oh, thank you, your worship. For mine own part, I never step into any tap house, but I'm drawn in.
Well, no more of it. Fare you well. Come hither to me, Master Tapster. What's your name, Master Tapster?
Puppy.
What else?
Bum, sir.
Froth. And your bum is the greatest thing about you, so that, well, in the beastliest sense, you are Pompey the Great. Pompey, you are partly a bawd, Pompey, howsoever you color it in being a tapster, are you not? Now come, tell me true, it shall be the better for you.
Truly, sir, I am a poor fellow that would live.
Now how would you live, Pompey? By being a bawd? What do you think of the trade, Pompey? Is it a lawful trade?
If the law would allow it, sir.
Ah, but the law will not allow it, nor it shall not be allowed in Vienna.
Does your honor mean to gild and splay all the youth of the city?
Well, no.
Then truly, sir, in my poor opinion, they will to it.
Thank you, good Pompey. And in requital of your prophecy, hark you. I advise you, let me not find you before me again upon any complaint whatsoever. No, not for dwelling where you do. For if I do, Pompey, I shall beat you to your tent and prove a shrewd Caesar to you. In plain dealing, I shall have you whipped. So for this time, Pompey, fare you well.
I thank your worship for your good counsel. What? I shall follow it, as flesh and fortune shall better determine. With me, no, let Carmen whip his jade. The balance hot, not whipped out of his trade.
Come hither to me, Master Elbow. Come hither, Master Constable. How long have you been in this place of constable?
7 years and a half, sir.
I had thought by the readiness in the office you had continued in it some time. You say 7 years together?
And a half, sir.
Alas, it hath been great pains to you. They do you wrong to put you so oft apart. Are there none in your ward sufficient to serve it?
Faith, sir, few have any wit in such matters. As they are chosen, they choose me for them. I do it for some piece of money and go through with it all.
Look you, bring me the names of some 6 or 7, the most sufficient in your parish.
To your worship's house, sir?
To my house. Fare you well.
He is hearing of a cause. He will come straight. I'll tell him of you.
Pray you do. I'll know his pleasure. Maybe he will relent. Alas, he has but is offended in a dream. All sex, all ages smack of this vice, and he to die for it.
Now what's the matter, Provost?
Is it your will Claudio shall die tomorrow?
Did not I tell thee yea? Hadst thou not ordered? Why dost thou ask again?
Lest I might be too rash. I have seen under your good correction when after execution judgment hath repented o'er his doom.
Go to. Let that be mine. Do you your office or give up your place, and you shall well be spared.
I crave your honor's pardon. What, sir, should be done with the groaning Juliet? She is very near her hour.
Dispose of her to some more fitter place, and that with speed.
Here is the sister of the man condemned desires access to you.
Hath he a sister?
Ah, my good lord, a very virtuous maiden to be shortly of sisterhood, if not already.
Well, let her be admitted. See you the fornicatress be removed. Give her needful but not lavish means. There shall be order for it.
Save your honor.
Stay a little while. You're welcome. What's your will?
I am a woeful suitor to your honor. Please, but your honor, hear me.
Well, what's your suit?
There is a vice that most I do abhor, and most desire should meet the blow of justice, for which I would not plead, but that I must, for which I must not plead, but that I am, at war twixt will and will not.
Well, the matter?
I have a brother is condemned to die. I do beseech you, let it be his fault, and not my brother.
Heaven give thee moving graces.
Condemn the fault and not the actor of it. Why, every fault's condemned ere it be done. Mine were the very cipher of a function, to find the faults whose fine stands in record, and let go by the actor.
Oh, just, but severe law. I had a brother then. Heaven keep your honor.
Give it not over, sir. To him again. Entreat him. Kneel down before him and hang upon his robe. You are too cold. If you should need a pen, you could not with more a tamer tongue desire it. To him, I say.
Must he needs die?
Maiden, no remedy.
Yes, I do think that you might pardon him, and neither heaven nor man grieve at the mercy.
I will not do it.
But can you if you would?
Look what I will not that I cannot do.
But might you do it, and do the world no wrong? If so your heart were touched with that remorse as mine is to his.
He's sentenced, 'tis too late.
You are too cold.
Too late? Why, no. I that do speak a word may call it back again. Well, believe this. No ceremony that to great ones longs. Not the king's crown, nor the deputed sword, the marshal's truncheon, nor the judge's robe, becomes them with one half so good a grace as mercy does. If he had been as you and you as he, you would have slipped like him. But he, like you, would not have been so stern.
Pray you be gone.
I would to heaven I were, and you were Isabel. Should it then be thus? No, I tell what to be a judge, and what a prisoner.
Aye, touch him. There's the babe.
Your brother is a forfeit of the law, and you but waste your words.
Alas, alas. Why, all the souls that were forfeit once. And he, that might advantage best have took, found out the remedy. How would you be, if he, which is the top of judgment, should but judge you as you are? Well, think on that, And mercy then will breathe within your lips like man you made.
Be you content, fair maid. It is the law, not I, condemn your brother. Were he my kinsman, brother, or my son, it should be thus with him. He must die tomorrow.
Tomorrow? Oh, that son. Spare him. Spare him. He's not prepared for death. Good, my lord, bethink you. Who is it that hath died for this offense? There's many have committed it.
Aye, well said.
The law hath not been dead, though it hath slept. Those many that had not dared to do that evil, if the first that did the edict infringe, had answered for his deed. Now 'tis wake takes note of what is done.
Yet show some pity.
I show it most of all when I show justice. For then I pity those I do not know, which a dismissed offense would after gall. Your brother dies tomorrow. Be content.
So you must be the first that gives this sentence, and he that suffers. Oh, it is excellent to have a giant's strength, but it is tyrannous to use it like a giant.
That's well said.
Could great men thunder as Jove himself does, Jove would ne'er be quiet. For every pelting petty officer would use his heaven for thunder. Nothing but thunder. But man, proud man, most ignorant of what he's most assured, his glassy essence, like an angry ape, plays such fantastic tricks before high heaven as makes the angels weep.
Oh, to him, wench, he will relent. He's coming, I perceive it.
Pray heaven she win him.
We cannot weigh our brother with ourselves. Great men may jest with saints. 'Tis wit in them, but in the less foul profanation.
Why do you put these sayings upon me?
Because authority, though it err like others, hath yet a kind of medicine in itself that skims the vice or the top. Go to your bosom, knock there, and ask your heart what it doth know that's like my brother's fault.
She speaks, and 'tis such sense that my sense breeds with it. Fare you well.
Gentle my lord, turn back.
I will bethink me, come again tomorrow.
Hark how I'll bribe you. Good my lord, turn back.
How? Bribe me?
Aye. With such gifts that heaven shall share with you.
You had marred all else.
Not with fond sickles of the tested gold, or stones whose rates are either rich or poor as fancy values them, but with true prayers that shall be up at heaven and enter there ere sunrise. Prayers from preserved souls, from fasting maids whose minds are dedicate to nothing temporal.
Will come to me tomorrow.
Go to, 'tis good, away.
Heaven keep your honor safe.
Amen. For in that way going to temptation where prayers cross.
At what hour tomorrow shall I attend your lordship?
At any time forenoon,
Save your honor.
from thee even from thy virtue. What's this? What's this? Is this her fault or mine? The tempter or the tempted who sins most up? Not she. Nor does she tempt. But it is I, that lying by the violet in the sun, do as the carrion does, not as the flower corrupt with virtuous season. Or can it be that modesty may more betray our sense than woman's lightness? Having waste ground enough, shall we desire to raise the sanctuary and pitch our evils there? Oh, fie. What dost thou? Or what art thou, Angelo? Dost thou desire her folly for those things that make her good? Well, let her brother live. Thieves for the robbery have authority when judges steal themselves. What? Do I love her? That I desire to hear her speak again and feast upon her eyes? What is it I dream of? Oh, cunning enemy, that to catch a saint with saints dost bait thy hook. Most dangerous is that temptation that doth goad us on to sin in loving virtue. Never could the strumpet, with all her double vigor, art, and nature, once stir my temper, but this virtuous maid subdues me quite. Ever till now, when men were fond, I smiled and wondered how.
I am the provost. What is your will, good friar?
Bound by my charity and my blessed order, I am come to visit the afflicted spirits here in the prison. Do me the common right to let me see them, and make me know the nature of their crimes, that I may minister to them accordingly.
I will do more than that if more were needful. Look, here's a gentlewoman of mine, who falling in the flaws of her own youth hath blistered her report. She is with child, and he that got it sentenced, a young man more fit to do another such offense than to die for this.
When must he die?
As I do think tomorrow. I have provided for you stay a while, and you shall be conducted.
Repent you, fair one, of the sin you carry.
I do, and bear the shame most patiently.
I'll teach you how you shall arraign your conscience, and try your penitence if it be sound or hollowly put on.
I'll gladly learn.
Love you the man that wronged you?
Yes, as I love the woman that wronged him.
So, then it seems your most offenseful act was mutually committed.
Mutually. I do repent me as it is in evil, and take the shame with joy.
There, rest. Your partner, as I hear, must die tomorrow, and I am going with instruction to him. Grace go with you. Benedicite.
Must die tomorrow? Oh, injurious love that respites me a life whose very comfort is still a dying horror.
'Tis pity of him.
When I would pray and think, I think and pray to several subjects. Heaven hath my empty words, whilst my invention, hearing not my tongue, anchors on Isabel. Heaven in my mouth, as if I did but only chew his name, and in my heart, the strong and swelling evil of my conception. The state wherein I studied was like a good thing, being often read, grown feared and tedious. Yea, my gravity wherein, let no man hear me. I take pride. Could I with boot change for an idle plume which the air beats for vain? O place, O form, how often dost thou with thy case thy habit wrench off from fools, and tie the wiser soul to thy false-seeming blood? Thou art blood. That's right, good angel on the devil's horn. 'Tis not the devil's crest. How now, who's there?
One Isabel, a sister, desires access to you.
Well, teach her the way. Oh heavens, why does my blood thus muster to my heart, making both an unable for itself and dispossessing all my other parts of necessary fitness? So play the foolish throngs with one that swoons. Come all to help him, and so stop the air by which he should revive. How now, fair maid?
I am come to know your pleasure.
That you might know it would much better please me than to demand what 'tis. Your brother cannot live.
Even so, heaven keep your honor.
Yet, may he live a while, and it may be as long as you or I. Yet he must die.
Under your sentence?
Yea.
When, I beseech you, that in his reprieve, longer or shorter, he may be so fitted that his soul sicken not.
Which had you rather? That the most just law now took your brother's life? Or to redeem him, give up your body to such sweet uncleanness as she that hath stained?
Sir, believe this. I had rather give my body than my soul.
I talk not of your soul. Our compelled sins stand more for number than for account.
That I do beg his life. If it be sin, heaven let me bear it. You, granting of my suit, if that be sin, I'll make it my morn prayer to have it added to the faults of mine. And nothing of your answer?
Nay, but hear me. Your sense pursues not mine. Either you're ignorant or seem so craftily, and that's not good.
Let me be ignorant and in nothing good, but graciously to know I am no better.
Thus wisdom wishes to appear most bright when it doth tax itself. As these black masks proclaim an end-shelled beauty 10 times louder than beauty could displayed. But mark me, to be received plain, I'll speak more gross. Your brother is to die.
So?
And it is so as it appears account of the law upon that pain.
True.
Admit no other way to save your brother's life. As I subscribe that, nor any other. But in the loss of question, that you, his sister, finding yourself desired of such a person, whose credit with the judge or own great place could fetch your brother from the manacles of the all-binding law, and with no earthly mean to save him, but that either you must lay down the treasures of your body to this supposed, or else to let him suffer, what would you do?
As much for my poor brother as myself. That is, were I under the terms of death, the impression of keen whips I'd wear as rubies, and strip myself to death, as to a bed that longing have been sick for, ere I yield my body up to shame.
Then must your brother die!
And 'twere the cheaper way. Better it were a brother died at once, than that a sister, by redeeming him, should die forever.
Were not you then as cruel as the sentence that you slandered so?
Ignominy and ransom and free pardon are of two houses. Lawful mercy is nothing kin to foul redemption.
You seemed of late to make the law a tyrant, but rather prove the slighting of your brother a merriment than a vice.
Pardon me, my lord. It oft falls out to have what we would have. We speak not what we need. I something to excuse the thing I hate for his advantage that I dearly love.
We are all afraid.
Else let my brother die, if not a feddery, but only he, and succeed thy weakness.
Nay, women are frail too.
Aye, as the glasses where they view themselves, which are as easy broke as they make forms.
I do arrest your words. Be that you are, and that is a woman. If you be more, you're none. If you be one, as you are well expressed by all external warrants, show it now by putting on the destined livery.
I have no tongue but one. Gentle, my lord, let me entreat you speak the former language.
Plainly conceive, I love you.
My brother did love Juliet, and you tell me that he shall die for
He
it.
shall not, Isabel, if you give me love.
I know your virtue hath a license in it, which seems a little fouler than it is to pluck on others.
Believe me on mine honor, my words express my purpose.
Ha! Little... Oh! And most pernicious purpose. See. I will proclaim the Angelo. Look for it. Sign me a present pardon for my brother, or with an outstretched throat, I'll tell the world aloud what man thou.
Oh, believe me, Isabel. My unsoiled name, the austereness of my life, my vouch against you, my place in the state will sow your accusation o'erway, that you shall stifle your own report and smell of calumny. Oh, I have begun, and now I give my sensual race the rein. Did I consent to my sharp appetite? Lay by all nicety and prolixious blushes that banish what they sue for. Redeem my brother by yielding up thy body to my will, or else he must not only die the death, but thy unkindness shall his death draw out to lingering sufferance. Answer me tomorrow, or by the affection that now guides me most, I'll prove a tyrant to him. As for you, say what you will. My false, or ways you were true.
To whom should I complain? Did I tell this? Who would believe me? Oh, perilous mouths that bear in them one and self-same tongue, either of condemnation or proof, bidding the law make curtsy to their will, hooking both right and wrong to the appetite, to follow as it draws. How to my brother, though he hath fallen by prompture of the blood, yet hath he in him such a mind of honor that had he 20 heads to tender down on 20 bloody blocks, he'd yield them up before his sister should her body stoop to such abhorred pollution. Then Isabel lived chaste, and brother die. more than our brother is our chastity. I'll tell him yet of Angelo's request and fit his mind to death for his soul's rest.
So, then, you hope of pardon from Lord Angelo?
The miserable have no other medicine but only hope. I hope to live, and am prepared to die.
Be absolute for death. Either death or life shall thereby be the sweeter. Reason thus with life. If I do lose thee, I do lose a thing that none but fools would keep. A breath thou art, servile to all the skyey influences that dost this habitation where thou keepest hourly afflict. Merely thou art death's fool. For him thou laborest by thy flight to shun, and yet runnest toward him still. Thou art not noble, for all the accommodations that thou bearest are nursed in baseness. Thou art by no means valiant, for thou dost fear the soft and tender fork of a poor worm. Thy best of rest is sleep, and that thou art provokest, yet grossly fearest thy death, which is no more. Thou art not thyself, for thou exists on many 1,000 grains that issue out of dust. Thou art by no means happy, for what thou hast not still thou strivest to get, and what thou hast, forgettest. Thou art not certain, for thy complexion shifts to strange effects after the moon. Thou hast nor youth, nor age, but as it were, an after-dinner sleep, dreaming on both. For all thy blessed youth becomes as aged, and doth beg the alms of palsied eld. And when thou art old and rich, thou hast neither heat, affection, limb, nor beauty to make thy riches pleasant. What's yet in this that bears the name of life? Yet in this life lie hid more 1,000 deaths. Yet death we fear, that makes these odds all even. I humbly thank you. To sue to live, I find I seek to die. And seeking death, find life. Let it come on.
What ho! He's here, bears some good company.
Who's there? Come in. The wish deserves a welcome.
Dear sir, ere long I'll visit you again.
Most surely, sir, I thank you.
My business is a word or two with Claudia.
And very welcome. Look, senor, here's your sister.
Provost, a word with you.
As many as you please.
Bring me to hear them speak where I may be concealed. Now, sister, what's the comfort?
Why, as all comforts are, most good indeed. Lord Angelo, having affairs to heaven, intends you for his swift ambassador, where you shall be an everlasting lieger. Therefore your best appointment make with speed. Tomorrow you set on.
Is there no remedy?
None but such remedy as to save a head, to cleave a heart in twain.
But is there any?
Yes, brother, you may live. There is a devilish mercy in the judge, if you'll implore it, that will free your life, but fetter you till death.
Perpetual durance.
Aye, just perpetual durance, a restraint, though all the world's vastity you had to a determined scope.
But in what nature?
In such a one as you consenting to it would bark your honor from that trunk you bear and leave you naked.
Let me know the point.
I do fear thee, Claudio, and I quake, lest thou a feverous life shouldst entertain, in 6 or 7 winters more respect than a perpetual honor. Darest thou die? The sense of death is most in apprehension, and the poor beetle that we tread upon in corporal sufferance finds a pang as great as when a giant dies.
Why give you me this shame? Think you I can a resolution fetched from flowery tenderness? If I must die, I will encounter darkness as a bride and hug it in mine arms.
There spake my brother. There my father's grave did utter forth a voice. Yes, thou must die. Thou art too noble to conserve a life in base appliances. This outward sainted deputy, whose settled visage and deliberate word nips youth in the head and follies doth anew, as falcon doth the fowl, is yet a devil. His filth within being cast, he would appear upon as deep as hell.
The Prinzi Angelo.
'Tis the cunning livery of hell, the damned body to invest and cover in Prinzi guards. Dost thou think, Claudio, if I would yield him my virginity, thou mightst be freed?
Oh, heavens! It cannot be!
Yes, he would give it to thee from this rank offense, so to offend him still. This night's the time that I should do what I abhor to name, or else thou diest tomorrow.
Thou shalt not do it.
Oh, were it but my life, I'd throw it down for your deliverance as frankly as a pig.
Thanks, dear Isabel.
Be ready, Claudio, for your death tomorrow.
Yes. Has he such affections in him that thus can make him bite the law by the nose when he would force it? Surely it is no sin. Or of the deadly 7, it is the least.
Which is the least?
If it were damnable, he being so wise, why would he for the momentary trick be perdurably fined? Oh, Isabel.
What says my brother?
Death is a fearful thing.
And shamed life, a hateful.
Aye, but to die and go we know not where. To lie in cold obstruction and to rot. This sensible, warm motion to become a needed clod, and the delighted spirit to bathe in fiery floods, or to reside in thrilling region of thick ribbed ice, to be imprisoned in the viewless winds and blown with restless violence round about the pendant world. Or to be worse than worst of those that lawless and in certain thought imagine howling. 'Tis too horrible. The weariest and most loathed worldly life that age, ache, penury, and imprisonment can lay on nature is a paradise to what we fear of death.
Alas, alas.
Sweet sister, Let me live. What sin you do to save a brother's life? Nature dispenses with the deed so far that it becomes a virtue.
Oh, you beast! Oh, faithless coward! Oh, dishonest wretch! Wilt thou be made a man out of my vice? Is it not kind of incest to take life from thine own sister's shame? What should I think? Heaven shield my mother played my father fair. For such a warped slip of wilderness there issue from his blood. Take my defiance! Die! Perish! Might my bending down reprieve thee from thy fate it should proceed. I'll pray 1,000 prayers for thy death. No word to save thee.
Nay, hear me, Isabel.
Oh, fine! Thy sin's not accidental, but a trade. Mercy to thee would prove itself a bond. 'Tis best that thou diest quickly.
Oh, hear me, Isabella.
Vouchsafe a word, young sister, but one word.
What is your will?
Might you dispense with your leisure, I would by and by have some speech with you. The satisfaction I would require is likewise your own benefit.
I have no superfluous leisure. My stay must be stolen out of other affairs. But I will attend you a while.
Son, I have overheard what hath passed between you and your sister. Angelo had never the purpose to corrupt her. Only he hath made an essay of her virtue to practice his judgment with the disposition of natures. She, having the truth of honor in her, hath made him that gracious denial that he is most glad to receive. I am confessor to Angelo, and I know this to be true. Therefore prepare yourself to death. Do not satisfy your resolution with hopes that are fallible. Tomorrow you must die. Go to your knees and make ready.
Let me ask my sister pardon. I am so out of love with life that I will sue to be rid of it.
Hold you there. Farewell. The hand that hath made you fair hath made you good. The goodness that is cheap in beauty makes beauty brief in goodness. But grace, being the soul of your complexion, shall keep the body of it ever fair. How will you do to save your brother?
I am going now to resolve him. I had rather my brother die by the law than my son should be unlawfully born. But oh, how much is the good Duke deceived in Angelo! If ever he return and I can speak to him, I will open my lips in vain or discover his government.
That shall not be much amiss, yet virtue is bold, and goodness never fearful. Have you not heard speak of Mariana, the sister of Frederick, the great soldier who miscarried at sea?
I have heard of the lady, and good words went with her name.
She should this Angelo have married. was affianced to her by oath and the nuptial appointed, between which time of the contract and the limit of the solemnity, her brother was wracked at sea, having in that perished vessel the dowry of his sister. But mark how heavily this befell the poor gentlewoman. There she lost a noble and renowned brother, in his love toward her ever most kind and natural. With him, the portion and sinew of her fortune, her marriage dowry, with both. Her combinate husband, this well-seeming Angelo.
Can this be so? Did Angelo so leave her?
Left her to her tears and dried not one of them with his comfort, pretending in her discoveries of dishonor, bestowed her upon her own lamentations, which she yet wears for his sake, and he, a marvel to her tears, is washed with them, but relents not.
What a merit, were it in death, to take this poor maid from the world. What corruption in this life, that it will let this man live. But how out of this can she avail?
It is a rupture that you may easily heal, and the cure of it not only saves your brother, but keeps you from dishonor in doing it.
Show me how, good father.
Go you to Angelo. Answer his requiring with a plausible obedience. Agree with his demands to the point. Only refer yourself to this advantage. First, that your stay with him may not be long, that the time may have all shadow and silence in it, and that the place answer to convenience. This being granted in course, and now follows all, we shall advise this wronged maid to stead up your appointment. Go in your place. If the encounter acknowledge itself hereafter, it may compel him to her recompense. And here, by this, is your brother saved, your honor untainted, the poor Mariana advantaged, and the corrupt deputy scaled. The maid will I frame and make fit for his attempt. If you think well to carry this, as you may, the doubleness of the benefit defends the deceit from reproof. What think you of it?
The image of it gives me content already.
Haste you speedily to Angelo. If for tonight he entreat you to his bed, give him promise of satisfaction. I will to St. Luke's. There at the moated grange resides this dejected Mariana. At that place call upon me, and dispatch with Angelo that it may be quickly.
I thank you for this comfort. Fare you well, good father.